You think he wants sex, that when he pulls you close or stares too long or disappears after a night together, that it's all about the physical. And maybe you've spent years trying to be sexier, more available, more open. But let me tell you something no man will say out loud, not because he's hiding it, but because he doesn't have the words for it. At 2 a.m., when he can't sleep and he's staring at the ceiling, he's not remembering your body. He's replaying that moment you looked at him like he was less, that subtle tone in your voice, the way you cut him off in front of his friends, the way you doubted his decision and called it just being honest. You thought it was nothing, but to him, it echoed. It haunted. It told him he wasn't enough, not as a provider, not as a man, not as your man. And here's the truth that flips everything. What men secretly crave more than your body, more than your affection, more than your I love you, is your respect. Because without that, nothing else feels real. From the moment a boy can walk, he's measured by what he can lift, by how loud he can be, by how well he can take a hit without crying. We don't hand little boys the language of emotion. We hand them the scoreboard. We don't ask, how do you feel? We ask, what did you do? So he learns, quickly, that his worth is tied to his usefulness, his status, his strength, his ability to earn admiration. And whether he's 5 or 50, that core wiring doesn't change. It's not that sex doesn't matter to him, it does. But it's what it represents that really cuts to the bone. Sex, to a man who isn't respected, feels hollow, like a standing ovation after a performance no one watched. Because without respect, intimacy feels like obligation, like mercy, like a lie. Respect is his emotional oxygen. You don't see it, but he notices every inhale. The way you respond when he shares a plan, the way you trust his lead or challenge it, the way your eyes light up or don't when he walks in the room. Those moments either breathe life into him or choke him. And here's where it gets more complicated. Most men won't tell you this, not because they don't feel it, but because they were raised not to. Vulnerability feels dangerous to him. So instead of saying, I need to feel respected, he'll shut down. He'll get cold. He'll get distant. Maybe even cruel. You'll think he doesn't care. But what's really happening is that he's grieving something he can't name. This is why so many women are left confused. They give their love, their time, their bodies, and still, he drifts. Because the one thing he can't name, the thing he doesn't even know how to ask for, is the very thing holding his heart hostage. He's not longing for another orgasm. He's longing to feel significant in your eyes. That's why he lights up when you ask for his advice. Why he softens when you tell him he makes you feel safe. Why he'll walk through fire for you if you look at him like he's your hero, not because he wants to be worshipped, but because that look says, I believe in you. And when a man feels believed in, that's when he stays. That's when he fights for the relationship. That's when he becomes who you always knew he could be. Not because you gave him your body, but because you gave him your respect. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Not in theory, not in textbook definitions, but in the moments that break men open or shut them down. I once worked with a couple who had been together for 6 years. She was intelligent, successful, deeply loving, but exhausted. He, on the surface, seemed checked out. Not cheating, not cruel, but gone. One night she said to him in session, I do everything. I give you all of me. Why do you still feel so far away? And he sat there for a long time in silence. Then he said, because every time I try to lead, you make me feel like an idiot. He wasn't angry when he said it. He was broken. She'd never screamed at him, never belittled him with insults. But she'd slowly taken the wheel in their life, the bills, the parenting, the decision-making, and every time he offered an idea or a solution, she overrode it with something better. It wasn't intentional. She thought she was helping, but what he felt was this: I'm not trusted here. I'm not respected here. I'm not needed here. So he didn't fight her, he just started fading, because most men won't argue for respect, they'll just go where they feel it. Then there was the man who admitted to cheating, and when we got down to the core of it, it wasn't about the woman being sexier or younger. He said, with her, I felt like a man. Like I could win, like I was somebody. It wasn't the sex, it was who he became in that woman's eyes. A version of himself he couldn't seem to access at home anymore. It's not a justification, it's a map. a trail that leads straight back to how deeply men crave admiration. But it's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's in the smallest things. A man I know once told me the moment he knew he wanted to marry his girlfriend was when they were out to dinner with his friends, and she caught him in the middle of a story, smiled, and said, "You tell it better than anyone." That was it, just one sentence. But in that moment, she made him feel like her man, like he had a place, and that place mattered. Another guy said he noticed his wife's respect, not when he succeeded, but when he failed. He lost his job, came home in shame, and braced for disappointment. Instead, she sat beside him and said, "I still believe in you." He told me he'd never felt more connected to her in their entire marriage. Not on their honeymoon, not on the night their first child was born. That moment when she saw him small and still looked at him like a king, that was the one. Because here's the paradox most women don't see. The moments when a man most needs respect are the exact moments when he least deserves it. When he's messing up, when he's uncertain, when he's fumbling through the thing he's supposed to be good at. And how you respond in those moments doesn't just shape how he sees you. It shapes how he sees himself. See, most men don't need constant praise. They don't want to be put on a pedestal. They want earned admiration. The kind that says, "I see who you're trying to be and I respect the fight in you." Not because he's perfect, but because he's showing up. And that matters more than the outcome. And when he doesn't feel that, when every day feels like another quiet reminder that he's not good enough for you, he won't beg for your approval. He'll either shut down or walk away. Because no man can thrive in a home where he feels insignificant. So if you've ever wondered why he stopped talking, why he avoids hard conversations, why the physical connection faded, don't just ask what you're doing wrong. Ask what you've stopped seeing in him, not what you say in the highs, but how you look at him in the lows. Because for a man, the deepest intimacy doesn't come from being desired. It comes from being respected by the woman he loves. So what does it look like to become the woman who commands respect, not just gives it? Because let's be clear, this isn't about playing small. It's not about nodding along when he's wrong or swallowing your truth to protect his pride. Real respect isn't obedience. It's not silence. It's not pretending. It's presence. It's how you see him and how you see yourself. A man doesn't fall in love with a woman who agrees with everything he says. He falls for the woman who can look him in the eye, challenge him with love, hold her ground without trying to overpower his. And most importantly, he falls for the woman who never stops reflecting back the man he wants to be, even when he forgets how to be him. That starts with clarity. When you're clear on who you are and what you stand for, you don't need to perform to get respect. You radiate it. You speak less but say more. You stop negotiating with red flags. You stop chasing potential. Because your standard is no longer, is he interested? It's, is he capable of meeting me where I already live? And men feel that. When a woman knows her worth, a man either rises to meet her or he walks, not because she pushed him away, but because he couldn't reach the level she was already standing on. But here's where most women get stuck. They try to earn a man's respect by overgiving. They think, if I just love him harder, support him more, stay even when it hurts, then he'll see how valuable I am. That's not respect. That's self-abandonment. And men don't admire that. They consume it. Because respect, real respect, isn't something you give in exchange for loyalty. It's something you extend when your own boundaries are intact. It's the moment you say, "I believe in you," followed by, "But I won't stay where I'm not honored." That duality? That's power. That's what men remember. It's also why the most magnetic women are the ones who don't flinch when they're challenged. They're soft in their delivery, but firm in their stance. You'll hear it in their voice when they say, "I don't like how that felt," or "This doesn't work for me." No attack, no drama, just clarity. And trust me, clarity is intoxicating to a man who spent his life guessing what a woman really means. But let's get even more practical. You want to command a man's respect? Stop telling him who to be. Show him who you are. Let him witness how you carry yourself when no one's watching, how you protect your peace, how you walk away from gossip, how you treat the waiter, how you hold yourself when he's unavailable. Not with passive aggression or games, but with presence and detachment. That unshakable I'm good either way energy, that's what shifts something in a man. Not your sacrifice, your standards. And this doesn't mean you don't support him. It means your support isn't about fixing him. It's about believing in his ability to rise. The way you'd believe in a warrior who's limping but still walking. You don't carry him, you don't drag him. You see him, you hold space. You say, I know what you're capable of, and I won't insult you by lowering the bar. You want to see a man transform? Make him feel respected at his lowest, but also remind him that you'll only share your life with him at his highest. That's when something flips inside him. That's when he starts seeing himself through your eyes. And if those eyes are steady, compassionate, unwavering, but also unwilling to tolerate half-love, you'll awaken the kind of loyalty in him that no amount of seduction can ever touch. Because men don't stay for the woman who needs them. They stay for the woman who sees them fully and still chooses to stand beside them without losing herself in the process. So no, it's not about stroking his ego. It's about inviting his greatness and refusing anything less. That's how you respect a man. And that's how you become unforgettable to him. So the next time you ask yourself why he's pulling away, don't look at how much love you've given. Look at how much respect you've withheld or traded away for closeness. Because men don't fall for the woman who gives them the most. They fall for the woman who sees them fully and still makes them want to be more. He'll forget the texts, he'll forget the outfits, he might even forget the sex. But he will never forget the woman who looked at him in his doubt and didn't flinch. The woman who said, I believe in the man you're becoming and I'll stand beside you, not behind you, but only if you keep becoming him. That kind of presence changes a man, not through pressure, not through control, but through quiet, unwavering standards that whisper, you matter here, but only if you show up. So know, what he secretly wants isn't in your bedroom, it's in your eyes. It's in your respect, and when he feels that, he doesn't just want you, he fights for you, he becomes for you, and he never forgets you, ever.